technology.
Amazing. Before you joined, I was just doing a brief introduction, and I was saying how you were working in marketing in Spain, in your home country, Spain, and you left all of that to become a yoga and meditation coach here in Vancouver. So, I will defer to you to tell that story. But I remember when we had chatted like a month ago, it was so inspiring to hear your story and your journey. I mean, not a lot of people can just, leave everything behind and start a whole new life, especially in a new country. So I would love to talk to you about that and, what gave you the courage to do that and how your journey has unfolded by following your intuition and your heart and starting this new life. I personally have been to a class Paula taught, and it was just a beautiful yoga, vinyasa flow. I haven't done yoga in years, especially because of COVID. So that was my first class in 2 years, in-person class, and it was such a beautiful practice. And so why don't you share a little bit about your background, your story, and how you became to start your journey in becoming a meditation and companion and yoga instructor.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. And thank you also for coming to my class. That was awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, so as I've shared with you before, basically, I just changed my whole life to try to live more in tune with what basically my heart was asking me to. I was working in Spain in a marketing corporation. I was having like a corporate job, and I wouldn't say I was not happy. Like life brings joy in a lot of ways. But there was like kind of something inside of me keeping me unsatisfied, if that makes sense. And I don't think it was all about the professional part of myself. I think it's just it's just like your heart, your soul asking you to come back to center.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, I could have found that center in the same profession. It's not really about that. It's whatever that means for your journey, right? It's at some point I found yoga in my life, in my path, or yoga found me. Same with meditation. I started meditating kind of like at the same time. And there, like, it is like I started seeing like a connection with someone that was already inside, but I couldn't like recognize before. So just like keeping more space to listen to myself, to like kind of like listen to the source. And at some point that just like led me to understanding that I didn't want to share all my energy and all my effort to like that job anymore, right? And I was lucky enough to have my sister living here in Vancouver. So I came to visit her at some point in that process. I fell in love with this city completely. At that point, I didn't decide to come right away. I just went back home to Spain, and that idea was like growing and like rising in my brain. And at some point, I was like, okay, I'm just going to quit and try to move there, and he was coming there for me. Like, I didn't plan to be a yoga instructor from the beginning. I did definitely want to be like related to yoga, but whatever. I just came here and everything just happened. Like, I started working at a yoga studio, just like in the front desk, and that led me to a training, and then I met all this meditation and like spiritual context that gave me like kind of support in the ideas that I already had in a way. But sometimes you just need some people around you to confirm that you're not crazy and that is a way of living, right? And that you can actually do it. So I'm just grateful for the people that I've met in my way, and I'm just learning. I'm just like in the beginning of an amazing journey. Like, beautiful.
But I love that story about how you said you found a job in like the yoga studio within even like less than a week of you landing in Vancouver. I
Yeah,
love that story
like
because
2 days after.
it just, have you read The Alchemist?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically there's a quote, famous quote. It's like when you decide to do something, the universe will conspire to like help you achieve it. And I think your story was so perfect in the sense that this is your North Star and this is what you were truly meant to do. And when you decide to do it and take that leap of faith to do it, the universe really started conspiring and opening doors for you and giving you like letting you meet the right people and have the right opportunity. So I think I love your story because it reminded me that, sometimes you just have to take the leap, but trust your intuition and don't be afraid to do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Makes me crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's like meant to be, like when everything is aligned, there's something that feels right.
Yeah. Okay,
And that's it.
we have a question. The learner, you said you have a question. Please, if you guys have questions, type it in. Yeah, Paula will
Oh,
definitely
that's
love
great.
to
Yeah,
answer.
sure.
Yeah. So anyone with questions, just type it in the comment um, section. So while we wait for that person to type in their question, yeah, I have a follow up to that. It's also how, for someone who is looking to do something completely different and take a leap of faith to, whether it's moving to a new city or changing jobs, from your personal experience, what is your advice to them to.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's. I wouldn't say I have an advice to
Yeah.
them. We all have the answer inside. So my advice can be maybe not the advice that someone needs. I just know what happened in my own experience,
Yeah.
and I definitely had a lot of like good advices from outside.
Yeah.
Would like in and also like related to this, like my only advice would be like silence everything around you. Just
Mm,
like turn the world off and look here. Just like you just have the answer already. There is no way then that you have like the idea to change or the idea to go somewhere if there's no something there.
yeah.
Like there's no way that you paid attention to that input
Yeah.
if that is not something.
Yeah.
So then the way to get there or how that will manifest or whatever, that will come with silence and looking inside.
Yeah.
And we all have our own experience in life. We all have our own growth. We are from different places. We have our culture. We have our probably our struggles. We have our trauma, and we will have a lot of like chatty brain, like trying to whatever,
Yeah.
like from fear, from like judgment. We all have that. I just feel that through my practice, going back to the mat, going back to silence, going back to quietness is giving me the answer,
Yeah.
the way, like it's all just here. So it's like a mix of both. Just trust your heart, listen to your heart. Probably your brain will get in the middle, that's fine. But also, like, if I can say something, and that might not work for everyone, I would say take discipline. So if there's something that is feeling right, if nature is giving you a good feeling, if your mat is giving you a good feeling, if biking is giving you a good feeling, go back to it and go
Mm,
back to it
mm-hmm.
and go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're late, even if today is like it doesn't feel like, just go back to it. Because it's just a mix about that hand and that thing that is inside. It sometimes it's a bit like airy,
Yeah.
and that discipline that earths you and connects with what is like really true.
Yeah.
So both a little bit, and then just like we all have our answers. Like I don't have really anything
Yeah.
to say to others,
But
right? Like just trust yourself.
I totally agree with you. I feel like when we are stressed out and we like tune into the monkey brain, I feel like is like looking for the problem to solve, but it doesn't actually have the solution, right? It's just like, these are all the problems that you have, but it doesn't come up with like the actual solution to resolving it. And I think for me, especially the moments that I find the solution to my problems is when I'm at peace with myself, whether I'm taking a walk in nature or taking a shower, exercising, where I'm, like you said, doing things that really like, bring me joy. And when I'm kind of in that state of like homeostasis where I'm like calm and I'm not anxious, the answers come. It really just comes. And I'm like, oh, now I know what I need to do. Like it just comes to me organically. Yeah.
Well, the answers, and also like the answers come also with some uncomforts, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we keep distracting ourselves and keep looking for distractions, because it's not always easy to sit in silence.
Yeah.
It's not always, we'll see the answer, but we'll see also the dark, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of fear, if we can call that anything, that is keeping us distracted, keeping us like, oh yeah, let's do this instead of let's get with people, or let's ask for some advice from outside.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's fine, and probably we all have nice people around us telling beautiful tips and beautiful advices, but at the end of the day, they have their experiences and it's their own point of view, and there's nothing they can, like, they don't have your shoes on,
Yeah.
right? So they don't really know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say just go back in. There is all what you need, and if you find trouble in the way, I don't know, just like face that trouble.
Yeah.
Not always easy, right?
Yeah. But meditation absolutely helps, I think, especially in silencing, the monkey brain. And I just want to talk to you about that because a lot of people have problems meditating. I hear it from so many people. They're like, I don't know how to do it. And when I try to do it, I cannot focus my mind. So what is your sort of advice or tips for people starting to meditate? How to do it? Like, and, especially like, what should we be, is there like a correct way to breathe when we're meditating? Like, I know I personally, I don't know if I'm always like breathing correctly. So what is your advice or tips on sort of meditation for beginners?
Meditation, yeah, it's a whole world. And it could apply probably a lot of, like, to a lot of concepts.
Yeah.
Let's focus just in the practice of sitting actively to meditate.
Yeah.
It's because I like to mention that obviously meditation is a lot of things. I definitely know some people that live meditating, so they are like all the time in the present when they are doing things,
Yeah.
when they are working, when they are. So that could be like just a meditation practice, a very advanced one for sure. But when you're like actively trying to sit in silence to develop that brain that will come back to the present, it's not easy. Like it's not easy in this society, which is like we are so conditioned, so programmed to work with our brain, to identify with whatever our brain is telling us. We've grown up with identification all the time, everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? You are this person, you're the daughter of this person, this is your profession, and this makes you, like, people don't ask you what you work in, they ask you like what you are.
Yeah.
Like it's all the time like so we get attached to ideas, and the brain wouldn't stop talking, right? Like you sit in meditation and the brain's work is to work, and that's fine. Like I think one of the big things, the big struggles we find when we try to sit in meditation is to try to stop the mind, or to just think that the brain is going to stop working, and that's not how it works.
Right.
That just applies more resistance. So your brain is perfect, and it has to work, and it's made for that, and it has to bring you fears, and it has to drop all these things that you feel like uncomfortable about.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's our survival mode. We just need to train ourselves to not really believe everything, to just have a chatty companion with us, which is like a great partner, and they will save us from a lot of things. But then, like, sometimes it's getting too chatty, and you just can't like leave your path just with them talking, right? So so it's just like a training again, sitting back and being like taking your discipline, going back and sitting there again. There's no wrong way to meditate. The moment that you're deciding to sit there, even though you're thinking all the time in your boss, thinking all the time in your deadlines, even if you're thinking in the future, in the past, you've done the work. You've done it. You're sitting there and you're and you're doing it. And that's the first step. And there's no wrong way. Like sitting in meditation for 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then like stepping out of it saying I've done it wrong or I failed.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. It's not even right. So you've done the work, you've stepped there, you've seated there, you've been with your thoughts, and then just come back again and come back again. And there can be years of like decades of same mind chatting, but I can, like from under my experience, I can promise that there's a huge difference between the first day and the 10th day and the 20th. Like it's happening. You don't even notice, but it's happening. You're just committing to that. And the mind will be chatty always. Yeah. Like it's the day of it. Like we need it in a way, right? Yeah. We survive. We're just trying to learn how to detach from those thoughts. Yeah. They are just that's something that I learned from one of my actually one of the huge masters I had. She's an angel. She said something to me that really helped me in my meditation practice. She said, even like when you observe a thought coming up or like a feeling coming up, just think that is not me. That's just the thought, right? So that helped me to detach to those things that are arising. Yeah, as part of you. That's great. You observe it from outside with curiosity. You're just trying to know yourself a little better, like you do with your friends, right?
Yeah. No, I think what you said is so true. And I think like for me, I have always said, oh my God, I'm not doing meditation right, but I still do it. And I noticed that even though my mind is still chatty at times now, I've been doing it like consistently for 6 months now. I've noticed a huge difference from the first day I do it now. And the difference manifests in how I deal with people, how I deal with what's happening in the external world. And my relationships with people around me, especially my parents, have improved so significantly because I'm less reactive now. I am able, even in moments where I feel like my body's getting worked up and if I'm like angry, I'm able to calm myself down. Like I'm able to like disassociate myself from the feeling, if that makes sense. And it happens.
Yeah,
it's like,
that is great.
Yeah. And it's and I'm like, Diana, slow your words down, calm down. And it kind of is like autopilot. Like I'm able to do it where I'm like calm. I'm like trying to like breathe. Like I notice my breathing gets a lot more shallow. So I'm trying to calm that down and I'm trying to, and then it really, the feeling, the activation and like the anger, it like definitely subsides quicker. So I've noticed it's like with a daily meditation practice, even though like I'm still chatty, the mind is still chatty, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it incorrectly. The fact that I'm doing it every day, it has made a huge difference. And I get it now why people say,
there's no incorrectly probably, right? There's also like there's an anatomic explanation for that. Your nervous system also like gets trained. So when you're reactive, when you like, we have a stimulus and our brain automatically reacts. And that's our nervous system working as it has to work. We just have the like our frontal cortex, part of our brain, can decide to extend that time that we have to react. And that's actually very interesting because the less you do it, the less you train that, the more reactive you become, right? It's like everything, right? The more you do it, the more time you're adding to that reaction and you're actually observing your feelings. Oh my God, I'm angry. Like you can even like choose to say, I'm not answering that question now because I'm not from a place of like compassion, or I'm not from a place of bring anything to be anything useful, right? So it's beautiful. Is
there a good, I mean, I think this answer probably it depends on the individual. Is there a prime time to meditate? Is it better to meditate in the morning or in the evening, or really there's no both
I don't think there's a good time to meditate. I just listen to your body, right? If you're having trouble sleeping, maybe meditating at night can be useful. If you're having trouble concentrating in the morning, maybe meditating in the mornings can be useful. If you feel that your mornings are not present, you're taking coffee, running to work, and you don't even remember your way to work.
Yeah.
Stop in a second, maybe that's the moment. If you don't have any time to meditate, but you have 5 minutes at 5 p.m., just do it there. Like, the fact that you're doing it is already, it's already perfect.
Right.
Changing one little pattern in your day is already amazing.
Yeah.
It's just a huge achievement. So there's no perfect time.
Yeah.
I do it in the mornings.
How long do you do it for?
I try at least 15 minutes, and sometimes I commit to half an hour, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Like slowly. And if I'm like doing any course or like workshop or something like that, I would do it for hours.
Yeah. I have to say, when I first met you in person, I was like, wow, Paula has this beautiful, I mean, you're a beautiful person, but it's just like, there's something that radiates outwards. And I feel like the people that I feel like are very at peace with themselves, and the people who tend to meditate, you know, have a regular meditative practice, there's something like radiant about them. It's like, I can't explain it, but it's like this like natural like radiance that permeates outward. So I think it's, you know, really when they say like, you know, beauty shines from inward to outward, I think it really, you know, I think it's really stems from when you have that inner peace with yourself. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely beauty is in the inside, right? Like, I think we're in a point that like right now of consciousness where there's no doubt on that.
Yeah.
Like, and we all have our own experiences and our own traumas in life.
Yeah.
And there's like, in society, there's definitely a huge trauma in all of us related with like the external appearance. But the more we repeat ourselves and to others that look inside to look for the beauty, is the more we're going to heal that, right? Yeah. Thank you. You shine too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really like meditation. I think I was very skeptical about it at first. I just didn't know how to do it, but I would just listen to the same sort of audio, and I would just listen to the same thing every day. I also meditate in the morning, first thing before I check my phone. Before I do anything, I just do 15 minutes of it. And even those days I don't want to, or the mind is like thinking about all the things I have to do, I just do it. It makes a huge difference. Like you said, you become more able to associate yourself from your emotions, and you're able to like, I am able to observe my thoughts and my emotions as they come up. And I'm in a way that I think I'm more in control, if that makes sense. Like I'm able to like, in moments where,
you can talk about control just because I don't love that word.
Yeah.
But like what I think is happening is like you're more aware of everything you're doing. You're not in autopilot mode. Yeah. And you're also like when you decide how to react from a place of peace or from a place of consciousness, there's like more time. Like you know that feeling of rush that you get sometimes to uncertain or uncertain. Sure. And when you have that state, when you go back to your center and you connect back to your consciousness, there's no rush anymore.
There's no
rush.
Like
you're putting yourself in a place that is so high in your own world that there's no way that the timing you're replying to that email is wrong. Yeah. Because you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like that belief that it's where you know that, and like however you do things, they'll be well done.
Yeah, that's true. That's also really true. I think it's
And if we all are in the same state, then the person rushing for your reply will understand that in your words, your mood.
Yeah,
because we are on the same page.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Having said that, I can't believe it's coming to the end of our chat. That went by so fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did we have that question, or like, what happened to that question?
Oh, with the breathing.
Well, I can answer.
With the question, that person, I didn't check. I don't think that they.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, we can talk about
that. Yeah, sorry, that person did not yeah, type it in the question.
Oh,
But I was
it's
just
fine,
wanted
sir.
to add that, you know, if you guys have any more questions for Paula, DM us. We'll, you know, ask her. If you're also interested in, you know, working with Paula, you know, booking a session with her, you can go on theholisticpanda.com, and you can check out her services or even book a discovery call with her if you want to chat with her further. Yeah, this has been great. I think, you know, honestly, you're such a beautiful being, and I'm, you know, I'm so glad we had the opportunity to chat. Um, yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
and I'm sure I'll
Beautiful.
see you soon. I'm gonna come to one of your, you know, classes again.
Yeah,
So yeah,
great.
yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and join us again next week for our next round of live chat with our practitioners. Yeah, Paula, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's
Okay,
a pleasure. Thank you so much.
thank you. Bye everyone. Bye.